everybody, it's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader at thetechtrader.com. It's Tuesday, the 1st of October. These are the charts of the day. Well, we had a really weak market today, and although a lot of stocks still stood out, we're going to show you some longs and some shorts and how some of those are progressing. For today, starting off with Anika, which broke out of a consolidation zone that's taken 6 weeks to develop, and also to test the bottom of the channel recently when it got down to 51, has bounced smartly in the last 5 days, to retest the highs here near 59. Today's high 58, we can get to 59, look at 64, 67, even 75 down the road. This is a tremendously strong chart going away. Here's your base, your breakout with breakaway gap, nice consolidation. Next leg may be underway, we'll see. Crocs also broke out of a wedge today, jumping 83 cents or 3%, not a lot, but it looks like it's headed for a retest of the double top area in their 30.5, 31.5 zone. Get through that, we could be mid to high 30s. CYH, after an explosive move off a double bottom, which came around $1.80, it exploded to over 4, and now it's been flagging for a couple weeks. This flag is holding up at such a high level that I think we're going to test the $5 range near term. That's something that should be considered. DGAZ, look, anytime anything's up for 10, 11 days in a row on big volume, you want to, look, obviously it had a big drop, taking it down from 207 within 6 weeks down to 85. So it lost a bunch of its value, but it's come right back up to resistance. Not only price resistance, gap resistance right there, but the 50-day moving average. It's likely, in my opinion, that the DGAZ might pull back in here. If momentum carries it through, your target's out in the high 170s. But if it pulls back, your support is 128.30. HOME, after basing out and turning around with the moving averages crossing over, has a rising flag. I wanted you to see this because it's right at the gap. And should this run up to 10.5, we can see 13 and 17. Those are neat looking. It's a neat looking chart, and it could explode or at least accelerate. Low priced MCF, that's Contango Oil Gas, has exploded from under $1 to over 3, more than tripling in just 3 weeks. I think it's maybe due for a pullback, wouldn't you say? But there is some resistance up at 394 range, which it could get up to before it pulls back. I love this pattern on a Sportsman's Warehouse. Double bottom, breakout, retest the moving average, run up, take out a little triple top, and now accelerating. I like the overall look, and it's at resistance though, around that 550 area. We get through this range, we should see 6 and 6.5, maybe more. Upland Software made an accretive acquisition. The stock popped today. It did pull back when it got near resistance. So you can see that it's going to need to get over 38.825. But I believe the targets are 41 and then 44. That's it on the long side. Let's take a look at some short ideas. Avalera, AVLR, has a topping pattern, no question, is right on support. If this thing collapses here, you're going to see it run down into the high 50s. AYX has already broken its long-term trend line, at least the year-long trend line. The multi-year trend line comes in on a lower level, but that could be your support area, and the target at 87. Targets are 95 and 87 on downside if it continues, especially if it takes out last week's lows under 104. BAH came down, plunged, and formed a bear wedge. Today it dropped only 90 cents, but it looks like it's on the verge of collapsing potentially. Long term, I have targets at 61, 57, and 51.5. Looks like a real juicy short, if you ask me. Beyond Meat, still dropping off that spike from the other day when it had announced the McDonald's deal, but you can see that it's pulled back on low volume. Now, it might be a flag, or it might roll over and retest the lows and take them out. Watch this support at 133. We take that out, you're going down to 123.25 and then 109.10. Gildan Activewear, massive head and shoulder top, broken, retested the neckline, and it's moved down today, which tells me we may be headed lower. I'm looking for 32.5. Aniplan, PLAN, which broke its major trend line and then snapped back to it, also with the moving averages crossing over and rolling over, the stock backed off and now is now testing support. Watch this one under 45.5. We could be looking at 40 and 36.7. And that's a quick look at the longs and shorts for today. You guys have a great evening. I'll talk to you tomorrow.